Hello, listener, and welcome to episode 19 of the Factor 50 Football Podcast with me, Michael Grantham. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're doing well. And thank you, as ever, for being here and listening to the podcast. If you're enjoying the podcast, which of course you are, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and we're on Apple Podcasts as well. So subscribe on there. It boosts our egos and it makes us feel better, which is lovely. And it gives us justification to keep ignoring our daily responsibilities and come and talk football for an hour each week. Make sure you follow us on social media as well, because this week, the Factor 50 Football Podcast is off on tour.
Oi,
yes,
oi.
We're on a road trip to the exotic surroundings of Southampton to watch them host Charlton at the weekend. And we'll probably film and post some stuff from our trip there if we remember and if we're sober enough by the time we get there. So make sure you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Factor 50 Football for all the football updates this weekend. And as ever, joining me this week is a man who was once so upset at Manchester United's downfall since Sir Alex Ferguson left that he shit himself on the side of the road on the way to work in what he described as a dirty protest. It's, of course, Adam Farrell. How you doing, mate?
Hi. I'm good, thanks. I mean, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, right? There's some elements of truth in that.
It's technically, the story is true. I'm sure you didn't do it. Well, maybe you did do it as a result of Manchester United being crap. But...
No, yeah, I did nearly shit myself on the side of a road.
No, you didn't nearly shit yourself. You shit yourself, didn't you?
When it didn't go, I had to squat. I don't know why we're talking about this. It's disgusting.
You did a shit.
I did a shit on the side of a road once, okay? It was either on the side of the road or sat down
in your pants,
in my pants. So.
To be fair, if that's the choice, you pick the right option.
Yeah, it was literally the Monday morning after Christmas, so like everyone was on the road, and I was just squatting off this busy roundabout. Everyone just staring at me like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's move swiftly on. From that.
Start the pod with a good poo chat.
Yeah. Excellent. It was great. But no, I'm very much looking forward to the Southampton game, and we are being a bit fancy as well, aren't we? Because we booked hospitality.
Hospitality. Fancy. We're fancy boys now.
We are fancy boys. I think
fancy boys.
Excuse me? No. Let's stop the pod now and start again.
Yeah.
It's not gone well for me so far.
Yeah.
But no, I think we should do a review of the Southampton hospitality. Maybe you've seen the padded seat, for example. We like what they do. They review hospitality around sporting.
Is that an account? Is it the padded seat?
It's an account called the Padded Seat, and they review hospitality of sporting events, but mostly football.
What a life!
I know it's great. So I think we should maybe do a Factor 50 version. Not exactly the same, because we're not stealing. Technically, we'll do it a bit different.
Anyone's allowed to do that. You can't trademark that shit.
Yeah, maybe we'll rate it out of 50 instead of out of 5.
Out of 50 is a great idea. That's very on brand.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's good.
So we'll do some sort of maybe like some social media video stuff, won't we? When we're there, follow us as we go and watch Southampton smash Charlton.
Depends how confident we are, because you don't want to look like a dick filming yourself in front of all these people going, "Hi, we're Factor 50 podcast hosts. Come and join us on
like this with the phone in your face, like getting in people's way and stuff. You don't want to be that knobhead.
Not bringing a ring light. Jesus Christ.
Oh, put it. I'll take that out of my bag.
Anyway, mate, what? Actually, no. We've got big news. We need to make.
Got to start with that.
A big announcement. So the legend that is, the legend that the couple is, Coxie and Nat, have had a baby. Congratulations. Woohoo! But, should we say the name? They might not want to share the name. Don't know. Baby E.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Baby E.
That'll do.
It's Evelyn.
It's a compromise. Yeah.
The name's Evelyn.
It's Evelyn.
Yeah, it's Evelyn. But congratulations to our biggest
guys.
supporters, Coxie and Nat, for having a baby. Yeah, big congratulations.
And of course, that means our listenership has gone from 2 to 3 now.
Well, she needs a social media account first. So sign her up to a social media account.
That's true.
Add an extra follow.
Subscribe.
Because if you're all listening to the same one, that's one listen where actually we could get 3.
Yeah, no. Spread that around. Spread that around, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
But what great news. Congratulations, guys. I hope everyone is good and getting some sleep and, get through. Actually, to be fair, the first few weeks are quite fun, aren't they? When you're off work and like, not maybe fun's not the right word, but I quite enjoyed those couple of weeks when you're just like in a little bubble, aren't you? And everything's mad and you're up all the time.
Yeah, it is true. But you did message me straight after Coxie revealed the news. and you said something along the lines of, well, there goes the end of Coxie's social life and her general happiness.
R.I.P. Coxie's happiness.
Coxie did message me actually, and he said, I just look at her and I just start crying. which is lovely, but also funny and grow up. So
yeah, get a life. You're a dad now, mate.
What's been going on in your world, mate? Anyway,
I know what it means. More parent stuff. Maybe this is a glimpse into Coxie's future for him when he's listening to this. We're toilet training George, who's, what is he now, 2.5?
More poo chat for the pod. Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the theme for this week. But yeah, skipping over the all the details, it's gone, to be fair, it's gone very well. He's struggling sometimes because he did Valentine's evening. I don't think he timed it, but the night of Valentine's Day, didn't quite get to the toilet in time, and I ended up spending the evening scrubbing shit off the floor and off the toilet and off of most of the surfaces in the bathroom. So yeah, it's been all hands on deck, quite literally. And then yesterday he was back at nursery post chicken pox because he's better now, and he did a couple of wees, I think, at nursery, but he also pooed himself 3 times. So when I dropped him off in the morning, I was like, he's not pooed for 3 days and he's not wearing nappies anymore. Bye. And they were like, oh, okay, that's great, thanks, bye.
Yeah, you
so he had
chucked him in, ran off.
Yeah, you have that. I'll see you later. But he is doing really well. It takes he's only been doing it for like a week, so we're getting there.
Yeah, it takes some time, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. How about you, mate? What's going on in your world?
Not a huge amount, but today I've done more wedding updates, I guess. We talk about the same shit every week, don't we? You having terrible time.
Very boring lives.
Mine's my wedding. But today I went and bought my wedding suit. So I went with father-in-law to Birmingham, went to Slater's, tried on some suits. It was a great time to go. Super quiet. We were the only ones in there. It was perfect. We were talking. We were like, if we were here with the women, we'd be here for about 5 hours. We literally were in and out within an hour. Bought the suit, sized, tailored, excellent. Paid for it. Off home.
Winner.
Absolute result. So we're back.
Quick beer or no beer?
No beer. Doug wasn't up for the beer, but he did say you'll probably have some beers when you go with your groomsmen. So obviously we need to go in May to try on our suits, and I'm sure we'll have beer as well at that point. But no beer for Doug. So yeah, that's exciting. Got some suits looking good, looking suave. Got some tuxes.
Looking fly.
Hopefully, be looking pretty fly for a white guy. So we'll see.
Sweet. Excellent.
Let's talk footy.
Football time. Should we start with Manchester United? Because they've had, I don't know, it's a quiet week because you only play once a week, obviously. But the glorious win, a little dig in there first. But the glorious winning streak is over. Obviously, it feels like ages ago.
It does feel
because last week we recorded on Tuesday, didn't we? So it's just before the West Ham game. So before the last round of fixtures. The glorious 5 in a row didn't quite happen. Can you remember the game, first of all? And second of all, what do you think of the result?
I did have to think back and go, what actually happened in that game?
Yeah. I watched that game as well. I could not remember any of it.
I do remember it. So look, West Ham were pretty good. I think we spoke about West Ham before, that Jared Bowen, if he plays well, we could make it a difficult game. And he did play well. Jared Bowen was very good. But other than Jared Bowen, Somerville for West Ham was awesome. Like, he seems to have come into a bit of form, which is exactly what they need. So they got 2 wingers there, and Bowen obviously can go inside or play as a striker too, but are playing very, very well. The problem with United was that there was loads of time in the first half where we weren't brave enough on the ball. So there's always an option to play a forward pass, which was, slightly risky, but I think we've been good at that since Carrick's come in. And we just never played it. I was shouting and screaming at the TV, like, play the pass. And we didn't. We went sideways. So we didn't play forward enough. There was also probably a realization that we probably put Sesko on too late, or we should have started him, simply because when he came on, we put a lot more balls into the box, which we looked far more dangerous. So I think if we were looking at the tactics from the start, and hindsight's a great thing, maybe we should play Sesko and some balls into the box. So that was the criticism, really. We just didn't have that cutting edge, that final pass. And as the time went on, Bruno got deeper and deeper. So it was difficult. But Sesko got the goal in the end. And if you can't win, don't lose. So it still felt like a positive result because of that last minute equaliser. I think before
I was going to say, is it a good point or a bad point?
I think overall it's probably a good point, because we probably deserved to lose that game. West Ham were by far the better team. So I think coming up with a point and, we can clutch at straws, but clinging on to, United of old, where you don't know where you be and you're scoring those last minute goals, even though you're not playing well. That's important. And Sesko's done that a couple of times since Carrick has come in. So, it felt like a good point in the end, and a great finish from Sesko. Great finish, which I know, but you think it was a fluke, don't you?
I think he just flung a leg at it and it flew in. It does look like a good finish. I don't think he's intending, or I don't think he's thinking like, I'm going to score here, but he's doing the classic striker thing, right? Of like, just fling a leg at, like, get something on it. And it's literally, I think it's pretty much the last tick of the game, isn't it? More or less.
Yeah, it was.
So fair play for, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle. And I think he, swung a leg at it and it's gone in. So fair play.
I think good movement from him. All you can do in that situation is get a half decent connection on it. And look, it went, the height of the ball, the way it went in was obviously helped. So so I think it was good. I do want to make a point I'm a bit worried about is our attacking squad depth. So I was looking at the bench that we had on there to change the game. So Sesko obviously came on, scored a goal. He's been our go-to. But other than Sesko, we had Joshua Zirkzee come on, who's unfortunately just not done it for us, and can't really change the game. And the only other player that, from an attacking perspective, that was left on the bench was Tyler Fletcher, and he's a young lad and probably not ready to make that jump up yet. So if we do get a couple more injuries to that attacking line, then it could be a bit of a worry. I mean,
the
player that's out, Dorgu, who was a left back, who's now an attacking option for us, is out injured as well. So it does feel a little bit light moving forwards. But like you said, we're only playing once a week, so hopefully we should be fine.
I was going to say, if somebody picks up a 2-week injury, they might miss one game. If somebody, like for us, picks up a 2-week injury, they might miss 4 games. So you might, like, this stage of the season, it probably will. Obviously, you don't want to be only playing once a week because you want to be in all the other cups. But it might work out to your advantage in the race for. Are we saying third? Are we saying you're in a race for third? I'd say you are.
I think we are in a race for third, but I think we can't get too cocky. Like, we are only 1 point ahead of Chelsea in fifth. I think 2 or 3 points ahead of Liverpool. So if they string a run together, then it's going to be difficult. But it's nice to be looking up rather than always looking down. And look, we are unbeaten in 9 Premier League games at the minute. So we're on a genuinely decent run. And with our fixtures coming up, we could extend that quite a long time.
There's some of the podcasts I listen to, which are not as good as this one, of course. But no, they are really good. They were referring to United as the form team in the league when we played you, because I think you were in the best form then. And if you're unbeaten in 9, that's probably. I mean, has anyone got a longer unbeaten record than that at the moment? I doubt it.
I don't know. I'm sure the listeners will screen at the minute, but no.
Bournemouth, maybe. Bournemouth are unbeaten in 6, I think. Just scrolling down the table, but you probably are the 14th in the league. So you're on 45. Villa have a
Yeah.
5-point cushion. They've got 50 points after their win. Yeah, so you're a point ahead of Chelsea and 3 ahead of Liverpool. So it does look like one of you, Chelsea and Liverpool, are going to miss out on Champions League football next season.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll make it? What's your gut telling you?
I genuinely think because of the lack of other cup competitions, that this is our best chance to get it. So
Yeah.
I think we've got a really good chance. But Chelsea's and Liverpool's squads are better than ours. So it just depends on if they can keep the players fit. I mean, Palmer's come back for Chelsea. He looks on it. He looks like he's killing it at the minute.
He's
You know,
smashing those penalties.
he's done more than penalties. I like Palmer. We want him to come into form for England back end of the season, but not too much of a form that he gets Chelsea ahead of us. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've got a
Yeah.
good chance. But if we were looking at squad side by side, we have got the worst squad out of those 3 teams.
Yeah, you've probably got
Yes.
the thinnest squad out of those, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's fine. Let's
And
move on.
yeah.
Okay, you're going to make a point. What
I
are you
was,
going to say?
I was just going to say it's Everton next. Are you at home or away for that game?
We're
Where is
away.
that game?
We're away. So it's a Goodison.
That's a tricky game.
Not Goodison. The what's it called now?
The
Dickens?
Hill Dickinson, the Hickinson Stadium. Hill Dickinson, I think it is.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So that's
So
not an easy game.
No, another tough game.
But they're all hard.
Yeah, there's no easy games in the Premier League. But yeah, it's a good opportunity. Okay, well, let's look at Arsenal because it feels like it's been another turbulent week or so since we last spoke. So if I go back a couple of weeks, obviously the gap got closed, and then you extended the gap again to 6 points. And I remember the phrase I kept saying was, what was all the fuss about? And then you obviously dropped points against Brentford, but probably the biggest issue was that Man City looked down and out against Liverpool and somehow come and win that game. So I think the narrative changes again, doesn't it? Where Man City are winning games. They're on the march again back into the season, cut to 4 points. How are you feeling after the last week or so? Does it feel like the pressure's ramped up?
I think the pressure's high anyway now because it's the business end, isn't it? There's only 12 games to go or 13 games to go? Business.
12 games.
So like every league game, I'm feeling the pressure. Like I think the players are as well because you could tell against Brentford they're a bit, I don't know, a bit scared to lose the game. And when we went 1-0 up again and threw the lead away, but this game on paper is one of the hardest games that we've got left this season, barring the City game, which is at the Etihad.
Brentford are
so it's a tough game.
Yeah,
they're in very good form. They got a striker who's banging goals in, and nearly scored against us as well. But for a Mosquera, did you see that last minute Mosquera block?
no, I didn't see it.
Very good last ditch tackle. Thiago sort of took it round him, but then Mosquera sprinted back and Thiago's about to pull the trigger, and he's got the angle on the keeper, it's on his strong foot. He's got that coming off the left onto his right foot. It looks like it's a goal, and Mosquera just flings out a leg and slides in and blocks it. With a couple of moments like that were very dicey. So I think Brentford could easily have won the game. So immediately after the game, you're disappointed it's only a draw, but then you think of the way the game went, and actually, it could be a good point by the end of the season. It's easier to think that as well with a week after the game. Immediately after the game, I was not thinking that. I was thinking, we've fucked it again. But now it's cooled down a bit. We've got Wolves tonight, obviously, which is the next game. And if we can win that, the gap goes back up to 7 points. And obviously City still have a game in hand then. But I think when you're in a title race, points on the board are way better than having games in hand.
100%.
If you were 15 points clear, but the other team had 5 games in hand, it would feel like you were miles ahead, even though they could be level if they win all their games. But then you put the pressure on them, don't you? So this Wolves game, the reason it's a weird midweek one is it's our rearranged game from the League Cup final. So this has been brought forward to now. But I don't think the City one. So City's rearranged game is against Crystal Palace, I think, and that hasn't been rearranged yet. But it's going to be later in the season. So this game advantage that we've got, or the game advantage they've got, the extra game we will have played, will carry on for quite a few weeks now. So if we can, just psychologically, if we can win that game in hand and keep the distance to like 7 points rather than 4 or whatever it is, I think that's going to be quite useful. So how I feel about the Brentford point will depend on the result of the Wolves game and the Spurs game coming up. If we win both of those, I think it's a good point. We'll be at least 7 points clear. And if City slip up, it might be even more than that. So, yeah, I'm feeling confident. And Wolves are, they're having a bad season, aren't they? Spurs are also having a very bad season. So these are two games that, on paper, I know the game's not played on paper, but we should be winning these games. And if we've got aspirations to win the league, it should be 2 wins, 6 points. Even though it is a North London derby and an away game, both of them are away from home. And as you say, there's no easy ones. But I'm trying to stay positive, back the team. I think we're going to do it.
Are you trying to stay positive? Because I think the general consensus is that Arsenal fans and players are worried, and it feels like everything's so tense at the moment. But you're trying to stay positive to try and change that narrative. I don't know. Every time I hear from an Arsenal fan, it's like it's going to be fine, isn't it? It just feels like
fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. It feels like
it's just the years of finishing second, and the idea of being like so in charge of this title race and then ending up second again, like 4 years in a row. That's hard to recover from. The Arsenal Vision podcast, which is the one I listen to, give them a shout out. They were saying how they were chatting, would you rather win the Champions League or the Premier League? And most Arsenal fans were saying Champions League because we've never won the Champions League. But they were saying this season, they think
the Prem.
From being in this position and not winning the league, that could do a lot of damage psychologically. Like, when will we ever win it if we can't win it this season? And it would be hard to justify. Like last season, we didn't win the league, but we had a horrendous injury crisis, and you can kind of explain that away. This season, I don't think there is any explanation as to why we shouldn't win it, other than psychologically we've hit some sort of block and we just cannot get over the line. And then you'd worry for future seasons, or when are we ever going to get over the line? So it's an interesting one. But I'm confident because of the squad we've got. Starting to get some attacking players in form. Madueke is in good form. There's I don't know if you saw the FA Cup game. There's a lot of chat about Saka playing centrally.
I did see the FA Cup game where you just blew him away in the first half an hour. Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, it was so relaxed as well. Like comparing those league games and the Champions League games to the Premier League games, it's just chalk and cheese.
Eze looked great, by the way. Arteta's just not playing him in the league. He's just not starting it.
Well, like that game, the way Wigan played in the first half hour was a bit suicidal. Like they had a very high line, but didn't press in midfield either. So Eze could just sort of sit there, wait for a good run. Obviously, it's a very good pass still and a great finish and all that. But the circumstance of that game, the way Wigan played, was like suited him down to a T. Against a low block or like with more pressure in a high stakes Premier League game.
A low Brock. Low Brock.
He's a character from Pokemon, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Do you know what? Going back to what you were saying there about Arsenal, the damage it could do about not winning the league. I have to admit, as a neutral, when I think about Arsenal win the league, it
makes you excited.
It's very funny. Like, if you didn't win the league, it is. I think you're right. I think that tag stays with you for years after that. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure how this group of players would get over that.
I still think you will win the league. Like, I'm putting it out there. I think Arsenal win the league, but if you don't, it will be, for me, extremely funny. Extremely funny.
I think if we don't win the league, the only thing that would be acceptable to most Arsenal fans is winning the Champions League. Because then you'd have people saying, "Oh, you didn't win the league. Oh, you bottled it." Be like, "Well, I don't give a shit. We just won the Champions League." That would be a good season. If we go all the way in the league and just sort of stutter and fall short, but won the Champions League and maybe like the League Cup final, that would still be a very good season. But I would still be devastated that we didn't win the league, because we should be winning it. And I still think 4 points, the gaps should be more than that. I think we've stumbled.
Yeah,
should be. It's not though.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got two more questions for you before we move on.
Okay.
So, do you think the League Cup final will have any serious bearing on who ends up winning the league?
Yes, massive. I think it's in a normal season. I wouldn't say it's that significant, but because it's the two teams going for the league title in this final, and also it's City are the team who have beaten us to the league title 2 of the last 3 seasons. I think psychologically it'll have an impact. Winning is a habit as well. Like if these players get over the line in it's March, isn't it? So they get some
Yeah.
silverware in their pocket, and like the confidence that will bring, I think that's really important. The sort of the hit that City will take from not winning it, because a lot of their players haven't won a trophy yet for City. Obviously, some of them have, but they've got quite a
Yes.
lot of. It's quite a new squad
Some
still.
of them have won a treble, mate.
Yeah, but not that many of them. Only a couple. I mean, they got who is it? Rodri, Ruben
Rodri,
Diaz, Haaland,
Bernardo Silva,
Banana Silva,
Bernardo.
Bernardo Silva. Foden's done it. But other than that, like I still, because they're rebuilding. Other than those like 12 players, we just no, it isn't. They're rebuilding, aren't they? It's a relatively new squad still. I think if we can beat, I think the outcome of that game will have an impact on the league. And also, it's not just that in isolation. I don't know if you've looked at the. You probably not, because it doesn't affect United. But there's a small. Actually, I wouldn't even say it's a small chance. There is quite a big chance that in like end of March, start of April, we play Manchester City 4 times, maybe even 5. If the
Wow.
draws. So we've got what is it first? So we've got the first knockout round of the Champions League. If we get through that and City get through theirs, which is not unlikely, I wouldn't say. City might have Real Madrid, so that's a hard tie. But if they get through that, we play City in the quarterfinals, which means in end of April, I think it is, we will play City away in the Champions League, City away in the league, and then City at home in the Champions League in a week.
Wow.
And then you've got the League Cup final, which will be a few weeks before all that. And then if the draw goes the right way in the FA Cup, and we got them in that, it's somewhere in that run, we'll play them again in the FA Cup. So winning that first one, the League Cup final, could have a massive impact on all these other games. And I do not want that to happen. I do not want City 4 times. I mean, we're going to have them twice. It could, if we get to the quarters, it could quite easily be 4 times. And if the FA Cup draw went the wrong way, it could be then as well. So I think it's impossible to say that the League Cup final won't impact any of that, because that's huge. That's a big deal.
Yeah. No, it's going to be difficult. I'm really interested to see how Arteta plays in the League Cup final. So, because in one area of my mind, he goes conservative Arteta again and goes quite defensive, or he comes out and I still think you've got a better squad than City, and you come out and you go toe to toe and you come out on top. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays that. One final question then from me. So there's been a lot of talk, especially this last week. Like usually when a team wins a Premier League title, they've got a forward player or some sort of attacking player who's probably the best in the league, I would say, or around that. It feels like Arsenal have got some very good attacking players, but maybe hasn't quite got that world class forward. Would you agree with that, or would you disagree?
Right now, I would agree. We do have that world-class forward in Saka, but he's not in world-class form this season.
I felt like it was this season to become take ownership, and become that world class player.
I think
it's still not quite done
it still could be. I think he could really kick on now, and maybe him coming in from the right wing and playing in a number 10 position. Maybe that's the thing that triggers
if he has impact in the big
scoring.
games, then he could. Yeah, could happen. Yeah.
If he scores, so he's got 7 goals, 7 assists. If he scores another 5 or 6 for the rest of the season and gets 5 or 6 more assists, we'll look at him and be like, yeah, we won the league because of those goals and assists towards the end of that season. We have been, so a couple of considerations for it, just talking about Saka briefly. He had his first sort of big injury last season, the hamstring, and he was out for 4 months or something. So this is his first season back, trying to trust that hamstring again. And so you can tell with the way Arteta's using him, it's a bit more conservative, because we don't want you know, what's happened with Kai Havertz. He's come back from a massive injury and he's out again and he's out again. And, you know, his comeback is very delayed. We can't really, it's not that we can't afford that to happen with Saka, but we're looking to him now to lead us to 3-4 trophies, potentially. So they've got to be a bit cautious with that. At some point, though, I think they are going to be like, right, we've got 15 games to go or whatever this season in all competitions. You're going to play every minute. And I think they're trying to get to that point and keep him fresh so he's not, you know, run down and broken for these, because this is winning time over the next 2-3 months, right? This is your form up to this point, as long as you're in it, doesn't really matter. It's what you do now for the next 2 months. And so I think I'm hoping the plan has been to sort of prime him, keep him as fresh as possible for these, you know, these big games. And I believe he's going to deliver, because I think he is our one attacking, like, world-class talent. The other thing about, do we have world-class forwards, is we've got a lot of very good ones, but just going out and buying a world-class forward also is not guaranteed to work, because Liverpool did that in the summer. Liverpool bought Isak, Wirtz. They spent a lot of money, Ekitike, on these big names, these big stars, who haven't all been a huge hit. In fact, you know, Isak's not worked out at all. Obviously, injuries have stopped that one. Wirtz is starting to get into some form, but he hasn't hit the ground running. Ekitike's been pretty good. But so signing that world-class striker isn't necessarily a guarantee he's going to do, you know, it's not going to translate to us. What we chose to do was, like, let's buy 2 or 3 forwards, 3 or 4 forwards, who they're not like going to raise our top level, but they're going to add to the quality we've already got to be able to rotate in and out. And we've got that in the forward line. We can play Gyökeres, we can play Havertz, we can play Jesus up front. And there's not a massive drop-off in quality. We've just got different options. So we don't have that one world-class attacker. I'd love to have it. But also, I don't think that player exists, short of signing Erling Haaland, which is impossible. I don't think there is a striker like that. Maybe Harry Kane, but again, not going to sign him. So I still think our transfer strategy was the right way of doing it. And I'm hoping that keeping the players fresher by rotating means we're going to fucking storm it for the last 3 months of the season.
Yeah, the hope for Arsenal fans. It could
It's
be
the
a
hope that kills you.
It is the hope that kills you. Okay, well, let's go into any of the business then.
Yeah, what else have we got on the list?
Well, you posed a good question. I don't know if you want to. You pose it to the listeners.
Yeah. So basically, I saw a stat, or there was like this graphic. I should credit the person who did it. That's what professionals do, but I can't remember who it was.
Say you did it.
Oh, I think it was a guy called Scott at Canon Stats, who I follow. He's an Arsenal fan. I follow him on Blue Sky. Scott Willis, I think his name is. If
what
that's
you
not right,
about Willis?
What you talk about, Willis? But anyway, so Scott Willis, he does all these stats and stuff. I find it really interesting. I know you're not a big fan of stats, but hear me out. So he posted a graphic that showed teams' XG over or under performance this season compared to last season across the league. And obviously, there's only 17 teams who have been in the league both seasons because 3 went down. So of those 17 teams, 16 of them have this season have a lower open play XG per 90 stat than compared to last season. There's only one team. I suppose first question is, there's only one team who's gone up. Can you guess who that is?
Okay, well, I think I understood what you just said. It sounded like Chinese, but I'll try.
So obviously XG is the amount of like opportunities to score a goal that you create, right? And open play XG is the same number, but if you remove all the set pieces and stuff.
Okay.
So it's like creativity and general flair and threat and entertainment value, right? So 16 out of 17 teams this season are creating less, and it was quite significantly less per 90 minutes compared to what they created last season.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming then, because if this guy's an Arsenal statty man, that perhaps he's pulled this stat out to make Arsenal look better.
No,
so it's
I wish he did, but no.
Okay.
No,
in that case, don't blah 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 blah.
Okay, go on, guess.
I've got 2 other guesses. So
okay,
I've got So I knew at the start of the season, and this might not go into it, but I know Palace were XG was very good at the start of the season. So my guess was either going to be Palace or United, any of those two.
It is United. So,
Okay.
but that I suppose that does make sense because last season you were very bad, and this season we fourth.
Very
So
good.
I'm not. I'll stop short of saying very good. So yeah, the only team who have been in the league both seasons, last season, this season, who have created more from open play is United. Everyone else is down, and quite a lot down. So I guess my bigger question after all that waffle is 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 the quality of the league not the quality, because the quality is, we all know, is unbelievable. All the best players in the world play here, or a lot of them. Is the entertainment factor of the league suffering? And why is it suffering if it is?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So I think the league's definitely changed this year, and I think we spoke about this at the beginning of the season, where when Arsenal were doing incredibly well, where it moved from sort of smaller, keep possession based football, very, you could say ticky tacky, but it wasn't quite that, to actually the teams who had big, powerful, athletic players were doing better. And that's where it seemed like the league was going to. I much prefer a more, I guess the stats don't say this, but I prefer a more open game where it is less possession based and it can be a
Like
little bit more,
disorganized?
a little bit more disorganized. But you're right, like you look at the goals that are coming from, obviously Arsenal are known for scoring set pieces a lot. Actually, United, us, have scored the most set pieces in the league this year.
Yeah, set piece FC. God,
Set piece FC. And I don't like the fact how set pieces have become almost like not a cheat code, but they've become so important. Because for me, that's not why I watch football, to see a corner or to see a free kick, unless it's a direct free kick and they score straight from it. For me, it's open play football, attacking end to end, counter attacks and stuff. That's the football I like to see. But I'm a little bit biased because obviously United, that's how we've played in the past. I don't know if I don't know the answer if the entertainment factor is missing a little bit.
I think it's definitely been hurt. Um, and I think there's just lots of stodgy matches. So it's almost like unstoppable force meeting immovable objects when you watch some teams, because the quality, the players are so good. Like newly promoted teams can go and buy like the best player from a top 5 team in Germany or
Yeah.
France or whatever. The quality of everyone is so good. It's almost like the teams are cancelling each other out into like a bit of a, slugfest. Not slugfest, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean? Like they're sort of just matching each other and cancelling the quality out. And also in terms of like, obviously the more disorganized it is, a game, the more there's going to be like open chaos, free flowing stuff, transitions and counterattacks and stuff. So the quality of like, and the number of the backroom staff. So you've got the manager, but then they've got 400 players on the bench, members of staff on the bench who are all responsible for set pieces and throw-ins and whatever. And the coaching is so good. Like they focus on every little detail that there's not like really any elements of surprise and stuff. So I think this is why I'm quite excited about the potential with us of moving Saka. That's something different. And I think teams, as you go through a season now, it's almost like you've got to start with, this is your plan A for the first 10 games or whatever. Everyone's going to learn that and find you out within 4 or 5 games. And then you've got to change it and do something different. And you've got to present different like faces of your starting 11 as you go through the season. Otherwise, you might start off brilliant, but then people get wise to what you're doing, and they work you out and they nullify what you were good at, and then you can't do it anymore. And you keep trying to do it, but it just doesn't work, and it's not very entertaining. You don't create many chances, you don't score many goals, and you start dropping points. So I think it's like the almost like the quality of the Premier League has led to a steady decrease in entertainment, which doesn't sound right, but I just think teams are
No,
cancelling each other out.
I think you might be right. And I think also what plays into it, I was just thinking as you were talking, is managers and teams are, the biggest thing they're managing is risk in a game, which is usually transitions and counterattacks. They
So you just want to get rid of
minimize
all
the
that.
risk in every element. But the risk, playing risky passes, playing forward passes, it's like when we watched the
Yes. United Arsenal game.
United Arsenal game of old. What's it called?
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate.
Battle of the Buffet.
Battle of the Buffet, where we watched him, we went, I can't believe how end to end that was, and it was just everyone was playing forward passes, even though it didn't go through. Like, you're just never going to see that now, which is a bit of a shame. But that is just the product of the Premier League. So I think it's an interesting question. I think we'll find out. I think in the seasons whether this is just where we are for a bit, or where football's going, or
it goes in cycles, doesn't it? I don't think it will stay like that forever, because somebody will work out how to beat a low block, which means you got to stop doing low blocks and start doing something else, and it will transition and it will change. But for now, I think that's just this season. That's where the league is, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Okay,
there we go.
Fine. You wrote down here, pick your winner in title race and why, but I think we've discussed that.
You've done that. You've done that.
I think Arsenal will win it, and you think Arsenal will win it. I think you saying Arsenal?
Oh, yeah, I'm saying Arsenal. Sorry, I just got a really bad cramp.
God, he's in the business end of the season. He's getting cramped just watching the games.
Need to get on the surgery table. I'm out of action.
He's getting secondhand cramp from his players.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we go into predictions then? So,
yes.
Predictions.
I did check what these were earlier. I had a good. Well, you had a bad week.
I had a bad week. So West Ham, Man United. You went 2-2.
Yeah.
So obviously it was a 1-1 draw. So a point for you there. I went 2-0 United. Fucking hell! I can never get United results right. So a point to you.
Or any results right.
Yeah, I'm really bad at predicting. So before this, we were on 12-12. So that puts you on 13-12. At that point. Then we go to Brentford versus Arsenal. I predicted 2 on Arsenal. You predicted 1 on Arsenal. Of course, it was a draw. So that means you're on 13, but because I got both results wrong, I get minus point. So
down you go.
13 points to Mike, 11 to me. So a bit of daylight.
Yeah. 2-point gap.
Here's a 2-point
That could be big.
Gap. So we're predicting the game that's being played tonight, listener, which is Wolves versus Arsenal. So you're away, I believe. You predicted first last week, so I will predict this week.
What are you going for?
I think you will be nervous for this game, but you've got too much for Wolves. So I think this will actually end up being a 3-0 to Arsenal.
I was going to go 3-0.
Okay, Mike.
I don't want to be boring and just be like, I'll go 2-0 then.
You always go 2-0.
I was going to go 3-0. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. I feel like 3-0 because I think you're right. I think it will be nervy, but Wolves are just having, if we're going to win the league, we've got to beat Wolves, and I think they will. Yeah. I'll go. Should I go something stupid? Like, should I pick a ridiculous score, or should I go 1-0?
He's 2 points ahead. He's feeling brave.
Yeah, the pressure's getting to me. I'm following it. I'll go for. Can I go 5-0?
Why not?
I feel like I'm jinxing it now, but I'll go 5-0 because you've had my score. So
it's locked in. It's locked in. Okay, and then we don't play until Monday. So
wow.
Today is Wednesday. We don't play until Monday, so we've got a very long rest. I don't know why that's happened.
Is that like 2 weeks you've had off, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Which I actually don't think. I don't think it's a great thing. I think you lose a bit of momentum. But maybe because of the draw, maybe gives a chance for character work on the players a bit. Don't know.
Yeah.
So we're away to Everton as well. So I think this again will be tight. But I'm going to go 2-1 United.
Oh, you're going first again, are you? Huh. I think I'll go 2-1 United.
Okay. What are you going for, Mike?
You can have 2-1 United because I was thinking it would be a draw. But will Everton? I mean, Grealish is out now, isn't he, for the season?
Yeah, he's gonna.
That's a big blow. Let me just. I know. Are we doing this without looking at any form charts or anything?
Not looking at stats, man. Feel it in your plums. Fine. Make a decision.
In my plums. Okay, I'll go 1-1. I think Everton will get a point. They're good at home.
I don't think it's a bad shout. I don't think it's a bad shout.
I'm going 1-1.
Okay, fine. Well, there we go. That's another episode of Factor 50.
We've got one more. We've had a listener request or a listener suggestion.
Oh.
Just while we're on the predictions.
What, people listen to this?
I think so. Somebody's made it this far.
News to me.
My mate John Bootle, who is a listener of the pod and clearly listens to the end because I think he heard the last one. So we were at the end of last podcast, we were asking for suggestions, weren't we, for a forfeit for this prediction game? Because at the end of the season, one of us obviously is going to be, presumably, we're not going to finish on level points. So the loser has to do a forfeit. He suggested that the loser, so you know those big like Zorb football balloon type balls, the loser. I don't know how we get hold of one of them, but the loser goes in one of them, and the winner is also in one, but like smashes into the loser, I don't know, 10 times or something, and just like sends them flying several times.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good option.
I think could be quite fun. And that's great social media content as well, because you could just see like one of us flying about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's a good option. I think that is definitely in the pile. I think we'll throw it out again to the listeners again this week. If there's any more options. By next week, if there's not, I think we go with that. I think it's a good option.
Just go with that one. And then we have to work out how to get hold of a Zorb football outfit.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. We'll find one somewhere.
Well, that's tomorrow's problem.
Yeah. Future problem. Okay.
So that's it. It's a wrap.
Thanks for listening. That's a wrap. Hopefully you'll see us on social media at the Southampton game. We'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, Southampton, I've won like how many games in a row? Guarantee when we go and watch them, it's a 0-0. So we'll see what happens.
0-0. Nailed on 0-0. We should put some money on that, shouldn't we? Because at least if it is boring, we get some money. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good point, actually. We should definitely do it. Okay. Well, until next week. See you later.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. Nice.
Okay, bye.